8:15 now, and today marks 1 year since the brutal attack on Israel by Hamas. Communities around the world are in mourning, and joining me now is the president of the Jewish United Fund of Chicago, Lonnie Nassiter. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Anita.
I hate that we're speaking under these circumstances, but first and foremost, I know that this somber occasion comes in the midst of your holy days as well.
Yes.
So can you walk us through the importance, the significance, and the meaning right now?
Sure. I mean, similar to what happened in America with 9/11, similar thing happened to Israel, and unfortunately it also reverberated back to Jews in the diaspora, whether it be North America or throughout the rest of the world outside of Israel. And it's one of those days of infamy where over 1,200 people, innocent people, were brutally murdered without provocation. And as we know, of course, over 240 people were then taken captive as well and hostages, and we know that there's still 101 sitting in the tunnels of Gaza. So for us in the Jewish community, it's a day of mourning. It is between our two major high holidays. And for us, it's a combination of things. It's a day of mourning, to remember, of course. But it also is to kind of make sure that we have the resolve to give Israel and its people everything they need to deal with the atrocities of the 7th, all the aftermath, and then make sure that, in fact, Israel continues to be that strong Jewish homeland that we envisioned in 1948.
You mentioned a couple of things that I want to talk a little bit deeper about. One of those being the year that has taken place since. It's been a truly difficult year in so many different types of ways, but then also the word innocence. I feel like when we talk about concepts like war and terrorist organizations, sometimes that word innocence kind of gets lost, whether it's the young people who just went to a music festival or even those who are caught up in the humanitarian crisis that's been caused since. Can you maybe speak a little bit more towards that aspect of it, the year that has passed and the people who are innocent?
Yeah, sure. And you got to make sure when you talk about innocence who truly are innocent and who aren't, right? It's a Hamas, a terrorist organization that, basically hides amongst the civilian population, are not innocent. In fact, they are abetting and basically promoting Israel to figure out ways that they can, go around the citizens and the innocent. So let's kind of call it what it is, and that is that it's a purposeful plan to actually put innocence out there.
Correct.
And it's a shame. It's a shame that the Palestinians have such poor representation, that their basically leadership has actually stated explicitly that part of the war is to put their people out there and to get more innocent lives taken to increase their cause. That's a sick methodology. And again, when you're dealing with a terrorist organization, it isn't a rational democratic country like Israel. So there are innocents, and we pray for the innocents as well, both on the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. But I think what's been frustrating and difficult for the Jewish community, both here and abroad, is this sense of moral equivalence between what's happening. And let's call it what it was. It was an unprovoked attack. There was a ceasefire, Anita, on October 6th. And like any country that would have been attacked in that way, like we were on 9/11 and any other country, you can expect and demand that your country goes and everything you can to keep their communities safe going forward. And that's what Israel has done with a lot of precision. And again, but there's innocence and then there aren't innocent. And that's what I think some of our frustration in the Jewish community is, that the world sometimes has forgotten what happened and what provoked this war. So it's been a tough year. And it's been a tough year not only for us in terms of what's happened in Israel, but also the spike in anti-Semitism that we've seen in this country. So American Jews have dealt with, at the same time, the love and the hope that Israel regains its footing and stays a strong, safe, democratic Jewish state. And then also we, as Jews, have walked down the streets of Chicago, New York, etc., and seen an unprecedented rise in anti-Semitism that affects our young people, that affects our ability to go to colleges. So it has been a very trying year for our community, and we look at our organization as doing everything we can to help our community persevere, deal with the issues, educate people, get out there, advocate, etc.
Yeah, and again, a college student or a child or a woman, these are people who have no part in it. Exactly. So you mentioned college students, and they've definitely had such a tough job just trying to, continue their studies as normal, but then also deal with these world factors in the midst of it. What is your organization doing to help those who are Jewish?
Yeah, sure, of course. So our Hillels, which is like the place that Jewish kids can go to just be Jewish and experience the greatness that is Judaism, our Hillels are throughout the Illinois system. and they're a part of our JUF system as well. And so we have used that vehicle to assemble, to educate, to advocate, and just to provide a safe space for Jewish kids dealing with all of these anti-Semitic incidents and rallies and being accosted, to have a safe home, to have a place with a rabbi and with other professionals to really talk about their own identity, how they can deal with this very difficult scenario that they've been thrust into, again, innocent. And so we've done everything we can to have more meetings, more opportunities to assemble, and we've seen that through our community, not just on the college campus. Our numbers in terms of JUF programs spiked significantly in the last year. People want to be together. When you're vulnerable and you're feeling a little bit like kind of isolated and everyone's kind of against you, you need community. And that's what we've provided.
Absolutely. So where do you feel like we're going with this? You know, it feels like in the last several weeks especially, that sense of ceasefire doesn't seem to be as dominant of a speaking point.
Sure.
Where do we go?
So if you're Israel, you have to make sure that, A, the south of your country is safe and secure, and that another October 7th can't happen again. And that means dismantling Hamas and making sure that the tunnels where they smuggled all these weapons stops, and that there's actually a regime change, that you have actually someone on your border who doesn't want to annihilate you. That's one. Two, in the north, 60,000 Israelis, this gets lost, were displaced, yes, in the last year. And they're living all throughout the country, and I visited them. No country would ever deal with that and say, well, that's just going to be the way it is. No, they have to get back to their homes and their schools and all the rest. So as a result, Hezbollah, which is the reason why they've been forced to leave, Israel has the right to defend itself and dismantle Hezbollah's military and ultimately their artillery so they can get back, so their citizens can feel a sense of safe and calm as they move back to their respective homes in the north.
We appreciate you being here
today.
Thank you for having
me.
For sharing your point of view on things. And again, I hope that the next time you're here, we're talking about peace.
I do too. And we have hope.
All right.